Admiral's Log. Amidst the echoes of war, December 1941 finds the United States Navy forging an indomitable presence upon the Baltic Sea. Our strategic naval landings have granted us control over these vital waters. As the symphony of conflict unfolds, I cannot help but marvel at the unwavering dedication of our sailors, who sail with conviction and unity, upholding the values that define our nation. Many of them have been away from home for as much as a year. Yet, amidst these battles, my thoughts drift towards the strategies of our adversaries. The enemy fleets heavily rely upon their light cruisers and destroyers, nimble forces that pose a significant threat to our naval operations. As I study the tactical reports and contemplate our next moves, I'm compelled to consider whether ordering ships specifically designed to counter this threat is the prudent course of action. The delicate balance between offensive prowess and defensive capabilities demands careful consideration, for we must remain steadfast in our commitment to protect not only our fleet, but also the lives of those who serve aboard these vessels. As the commander of the United States Navy, it is my solemn duty to navigate these treacherous waters with wisdom and foresight, ensuring that our actions remain true to our principles, that we may navigate this tumultuous chapter of history with our ideals intact. Hey guys, still here, welcome to episode 9. We're in the Baltics, again. Yes, we're still fighting the Russians. 2 heavy cruisers, a light cruiser, and a bunch of DDs. It is not the only nation that appears to take great pleasure in using a lot of destroyers. So, this has me wondering, like, you see on the screen, do I need to build Clevelands? Or do I need to start building Atlantas? I mean, you could beg the question, why not both? The situation is not very favorable. We do have smooth waves, but apparently that still diminishes accuracy by 18%. It is, as you can see, pretty cloudy. From Idaho, you can still see some of the ships, but the Philippines, which is only 2 clicks out, it's getting a bit more difficult to spot. Now, I have a pretty large fleet here. They're all operating at different speeds, and some of these ships, such as Idaho, they cannot go very quick. She can only do 22 knots. So she's basically the limiting factor, and it's not exactly weird either. She's old. I'm not sure when I have upgraded the Idaho for the last time. Still a pretty effective ship. Those 14-inch guns hit hard. The 4-inch guns are still very effective against smaller ships. It's just her speed is kind of keeping the whole fleet back. The Enterprise can do a lot more than that. She can do 26 knots. So I'm actually thinking I'm going to leave the Idaho behind. I'm going to have the Enterprise followed by all the battle cruisers, so all of you are going to be in the same div. And, no, I don't care about torpedo avoidance. I have the South Dakota and a whole bunch of heavy cruisers. I can use these as a hunting block. Ironically, we have the light cruiser Atlanta, which doesn't look anything like the Atlanta class. And we have a whole bunch of destroyers. Now, these guys are armed with a couple of 5-inch guns, but not exactly as many as I would probably need to effectively take out those destroyers. And by effectively, I mean swiftly, before they go and do their torpedo-y business. Yeah, the Enterprise has been detected, and with this weather, you'd think I'd still be able to detect the enemy fairly quickly, considering I have radar on virtually any single ship. Well, with the exception of my heavy cruisers, apparently. There we go. And the fleet opens up. Normally, I wouldn't really push with a couple of heavy cruisers, considering the enemy has heavy cruisers, but the situation here is such that the heavy cruisers are probably going to be swiftly dealt with by the firepower from all of these ships. And once the heavy cruiser is gone, and it should be gone pretty quickly because it's a bigger target than the rest, or the heavy cruisers, there's 2 of them, that is when South Dakota and her posse can push in, alongside with Atlanta, although Atlanta is slower, and all the DDs, which, again, are slower. Now, once this battle is done... Oh, good lord, that struck a nerve. and a half. Once this battle is done, I'm going to have a look at the enemy fleets as I'm fighting them to see what else they have. I want to figure out what sort of a fleet I'm going to need in the next couple of years to be most effective against the enemy. And it might just come down to not the light cruiser that I designed in the last episode, the Steamrunner class, but something much more akin to Cleveland's or Atlanta's with their 5 or 6 inch guns. Because all of this small stuff, the 5 inchers are just very, very efficient at getting rid of that. Potentially a lot more so than the 8 inch guns. And especially with the gun balance mod that I have on, sorry, the ship balance mod from Admiral Snackbar, link down below, that I have on, I can get a lot of firepower onto a platform such as a light cruiser. Now, I'm going to have to do probably a bit of zigzagging here because I am really expecting ships like South Dakota to start operating as torpedo magnets. I don't want to be tearing all the torpedoes towards the battleships, which really aren't that far away. So I'm going to have to be a little careful in how I operate my fleet here. Gonna get a nice shot of one of the battleships, perhaps. I like these top-down shots. It's just for thumbnails, they tend not to do that well. Come on. Hold on, are these things operating so close together that it doesn't matter which one we try and actually hit? Yeah, pretty much. Good hit. What are the big ships shooting? You guys are still going off against the cruisers. Oh, that cruiser. That cruiser. Okay. Cruising for a bruising. 10 kilometers out. I should be well inside. No, I'm now inside of torpedo range. 11.3. Really? Okay. Oh, incoming fire from the heavy cruisers. Switch fire. One cruiser eliminated. I'm thinking if I'm broadside with a bunch of 9-inch guns, this ship shouldn't be an issue for very long. So I can start pushing in again. We slowed her down enough so that the battleships can deliver another 11,000 damage hit. There she goes. And this guy is dead. Problem is, it is so cloudy, and the UI is so... well, even the UI is foggy, which I get, but it's going to make torpedo detection even worse. Even worse than usual. So we'll just have to hope that they didn't actually launch and preemptively zigzag. Also, I completely forgot about the DDs, of course. Not even sure where the CL is at. 14 clicks out. The BBs. BBs have 57% chance? Oh, the guy's only 12 kilometers out now. Okay. So, it's going to be up to the cruisers to eliminate them. There she goes. That's the Victor. Spiderkiller. 10 kilometers. And not that much of a deal. South. We're going to turn again. Hits. Floodings. Big damage on this ship as a 12-inch from a battlecruiser strikes the destroyer, causing seemingly a detonation of her ammunition. Or she launched the torpedoes. I'm not sure, but this ship has nothing left. No, I don't like this. Incoming torpedoes. Where there's one, there's more. Yep, it's a whole flock of them. That's why you keep zigzagging when you actually are encountering destroyers. These little things don't actually act as cute as they look. Interestingly, Kazanets, we should be well inside of their torpedo range, but I'm not seeing anything. Teragusti is down. Take out the Zorki. No. The Molodetsky. 7 kilometers out. 3-inch guns should be pretty easily wrecking this guy. Reloading in 3 seconds. Come on. There you go. We do appear to have a little bit of a barbecue going on the bow of the South Dakota. But unless I get hit by a torpedo, I'm not that scared of them. I do, however, want to zag again. Oh, everybody's in full-on panic mode here. Not the South Dakota, though. I'm going to ignore the Zorky because she has just 0 armament. The only armament that they have left is ramming the destroyer into my cruiser. It's the only option they have. 9-inchers are reloading in 16 seconds. 17 seconds, really. So that should be sufficient. Well, Ledetsky just ran out of torps. Uh-oh. South Dakota, turn to port. Big damage numbers here. Various compartments burning on the Molodetsky. Torpedoes have been detected. I'm actually going to have to keep the South Dakota on her course. Otherwise, this is something I might just turn into. Boom. Overpens. Get the secondaries to fire high explosive, please. These things are so poorly skinned that... yeah, 0.1 inches of superstructure. I can easily pen that. Oh, this is going to be an interesting ride. Left 7 degrees rudder. No, I'm going to get hit. 35 degrees port rudder. And it's a dud! Yes! Oh, we might actually be able to dodge this one. Dud. Wow. Whatever you do, don't order your torpedoes in Russia, because they're just not that good. Oh, there's more on the way. I'm a little too busy with one ship. So I'm expecting Bridgeport, St. Louis, and Saratoga to dodge torpedoes all by themselves. And yeah, now I did get... I got hit by something, but it wasn't a torpedo. Is that the fire damage? No, I'm just taking a lot of damage from 4-inchers. So it's not the Zorky. It's all of these guys. Turn to port. Where's the main battle group at? Somewhere on the other side of the Baltic Sea. Right. My bad. Destroyer group. Please go into panic mode if you see fit, because I don't want to lose any ships here. Saratoga. Still working on the Zorky, which, as I said, is not a priority. Wait, you... Did your torpedoes get shot off? Because you sure as hell didn't launch all of them. Kazanets has not launched, Bratislav has not launched, Burakov hasn't launched. And I don't think the Pobeditel is going to do so anymore. Because they're either already in the water or they're just dead. Oh, South Dakota turn. Like, you can't even see that turn thing anymore. If I zoom out too much, maybe it's me being colorblind, but I can't see that angle, that arrow that says, hey, I'm turning this way. And again, we wanted weather effects, we got weather effects. Destroyed the torpedo. Didn't that thing already cease to exist a while ago? DD group. Well, they're still kinda heading in the right direction. I'm going to attach the Atlanta to the heavy cruiser, so she's also going to be in torpedo avoidance mode. 13,000 damage and you're not dead? Go on. Alright. Just a few more destroyers to clean up. We should be good to go. Wait. Burakov. Burakov just ran out of torps. Starboard turn. I think Burakov Might have left a little something in the water for Saratoga there. Because you don't just run out of torpedoes. They either get shot off or you put them in the water, and there they are. There they are. It's a nice little trick. Oh, you even surrendered. Didn't even catch that. Boom. 93, 132 damage. That's a 12-inch. Pans the aft belt. And leaves the Bratislav dead. There she goes. So now it's just Kazanets, Burakov, and Pobeditel. Which for some reason I'm pronouncing as if it's French. Right. I'm still quite sad that the game makes it possible for me to just seal club them as much as this. I'd rather not do this, genuinely. I want the AI to put up a fight. I want to have to do a lot more dodging. So if somebody has like a lot of free time, and if it's possible to mod the AI, make it more challenging, make it more capable, then I would be very interested. And yeah, by all means, do challenge me to weird and crazy challenges, because I am very much looking forward to those. Not exactly in the campaign, but I might resurrect the whole be able to send in your scenario again. So actually, yeah, I'll do that. I'll link a form down below in the description, and on there you can send in your scenario. If it's a scenario I like, if I think it's funny, if I think it's a funny challenge, then yeah, I'll do it. And I'm going to make it a custom battle. Let's see. Can we just finish this off so I can design my light cruiser? If and when I need that? Because the last light cruiser, the Steamrunner class, is not something I actually designed by looking at what the enemy ships were, what the enemy navies were using. I just said, huh, I like this. And I went with it. Now it looked like the Burakov... Hold on, are you effectively disarmed? Yeah. Did all your turrets jump overboard? They did there. This is the torpedo launchers. There's another. Did you only have one? No, you had 3. I did see flash fire notifications for this ship, but I didn't know it was this bad. Oh well. I'm very surprised that the Russian Navy is capable of throwing these task forces together as quickly as they are. Because they keep throwing out these, let's say 10, sometimes 6 to 10 ships into a task force, and boom, a month or two later, another fleet. Boom, another. They just keep at it. So +1 to the Russian shipbuilders for being able to crank out ships this quickly, even though their amount of resources is dwindling. They've already replaced the Admiral once or twice. Apparently the shipbuilders, they may remain steadfast and they just continue to build whatever the heck they want. Now, how is this little invasion going? Oh, very well. Excellent. So, what does the enemy have? The enemy currently being the French, the Russians, the Italians, and the Chinese. Let's have a look at the Chinese. I'm seeing 6 destroyers, 9 CLs, 4 BBs. So this is going to be more of a heavy cruiser / battleship fleet that I need to send their way. Alright, that's one. What about the Frenchies? Yeah. That's potentially a heavy cruiser threat. And Italy has a lot of destroyers. Okay. Oof, if you're ever going to go to war with Britain, be prepared to face 82 destroyers. Okay. Let's get a crack at the Atlanta class. Something with rapid firing, 5-inch guns, capable of keeping those pesky small ships away from my ships. So I'm thinking fast scout cruiser. Now keep in mind this is not going to be the exact Atlanta class, because I'm not even sure you can do that. And I really cannot be bothered to try and replicate one in minute detail. Does it no longer have the requirement of having primary guns? Because that would be really interesting. No, it does need a main gun. Oh, look at that. Center line, or main guns, 5-inch. Secondary, also 5-inch. Oh, you know what you can do with that? You can have different targets for different... Right. Normally, you can focus all your primary weapons on one threat, right? Now, you don't have to pick. You can get your cake and eat it too. You can target your primary 5-inchers on one target and your secondary 5-inchers on another target. And by doing that, you'll be able to start hammering away at these things. Like, I could put a second... Yeah, why not? What I've now done is cut the ship in two, firepower-wise. I can set my main guns, which is the bow, to target one unit. One ship, like maybe one destroyer off there. I can have the stern target something entirely different operating over there. Because these are secondary guns. And I think already on here? No. They should be considered a secondary set of weapons. Should be. I'm not sure if the game understands it as such. Or if it just throws them all together here. But that would be really funny. Now I have to still figure out a way to provide the ship with torpedoes. Because that is one of the rules that I set for myself. And underwater torpedo tubes are not a feature on this ship. Sadly. Where am I going to fit those? Autoloaders, of course. We'll only have to slow them down a touch. Give me light shells. Just give me a flat out maximum rate of fire. That... I don't care about mines. I do care about best sonar. Yeah, you're a bit fast, aren't you? Ooh, you're still a bit fast. Recommended speed, 37.2. So it's not the ship. It's the amount of gear I'm putting onto it. And I'm not quite done putting gear onto it yet. Where am I going to put that? I could make the ship maybe 5% wider. That might give me just enough room. And if not, I'm going to have to move some turrets around. Push the superstructure forward. Push the aft back. And just generate slightly enough room to throw on 2 torpedo launchers. There we go. Okay. So you're still heavy by 300 tons. You're operating with a single... Bloody hell. Okay. I cannot really remove a funnel because I'm going to sacrifice a lot of efficiency, and with that range... Ideally, I would have these as 21-inch, like, I don't know, fasts. Range, still 12 kilometers. Speed, 68 knots. You'll see them coming from a mile away. So there is that. I would give them this, this. Don't really care about that. Maybe 4 inches in the conning tower. I'm 600 tons over. I'm a little heavy. What? Border? What are you talking about? What? What are you talking about? You just sat there. And it fit. Thank you. The problem is the Citadel, I'm afraid. Because the Citadel gets increased in size. Reduce this. I could reduce that a bit, but it's barely going to move the needle. Well, that was 200 tons. Where am I going to find another 200 tons? 35 knots? Another 100 tons them somewhere? Bourbet 1? Not enough. Not nearly. Sonar 2? I do want to give them a Generation 2 radar. Generation 1, well... The bonuses aren't that stellar, and it does make your tower a bunch heavier. There. Can I still add, like, a lot of 2-inch guns? What use are you? Okay. 2-inch, 2-inch, 2-inch. These 5-inchers, I am tempted to make them longer barrels, but I don't want to. Because if I make them longer barrels, they're going to take longer to reload. If they take longer to reload, they're not going to be as useful. So let's not. As for type of shell, I'm going to go with maximum incendiaries. If this thing... Oh crap, now I ditched my torpedo launchers. If this thing happens to come up against something that... like, you know, something battleship-esque, I'll just have to motivate it to get out of the way with a whole bunch of fire. Oh, bloody hell. I don't want to reduce my sonar array anymore. I can go to reduced bulkheads 1. But I generally don't do that. I could give them like almost no range, but 23... Well, I mean, it's not almost no range. It's just not enough. Hold on. I put the additional beam on. Yeah, there we go. I put the additional beam on to try and add torpedo launchers off to the side. I don't have to do that anymore. If I can just cram enough room, push this as far back as you can. There. I can probably even add a larger torpedo launcher now. Maybe a triple? Yeah, there you go. She's 6% bow heavy. She's going to be pitching up and down a lot. But so be it. Depth charges would be a nice bonus. But I don't believe the AI with this mod on uses a whole bunch of submarines. So they shouldn't really be a threat. Be a bit more aft deck to try and balance the ship out. That's too much. Right, so that's the kind of Atlanta class, I guess. But, keeping in Star Trek tradition, this, of course, is going to be the Defiant. Tough little ship. Although tough, maybe not as tough as it should be with this level of armor. But, hey, maybe I can, you know, research some better gear and make sure that this ship does do a whole lot better. Save the design. Let's get a couple of those built. Now, shipbuilders are hard at work building all sorts of different classes, and I really hope that we're going to see all these guys actually make it into the campaign. I really need to have a couple more episodes with more battles. Ideally, against some larger fleets. The thing is, I cannot exactly force the AI to come up with big fleets. The whole death ball strategy that you used to have no longer really is feasible. So the issue lies in trying to force as many battles as you can. But at the same time, I want to continue my naval invasions, and I can't do that if I scatter my fleets too much. So that's the challenge that I'm currently looking at. Anyway, thank you for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think of the Defiant / Atlanta class, and I'll see you soon for more episodes.